So welcome, Courtney Nichole. I'm A.R. Shaw. We have Romeo International, Munson, Steed, Cass in the City. And I want you to introduce yourself to the people because you're doing some big things over there at Tyler Perry Studios. You got some great content coming, or you guys are just not gonna stop. You know, y'all not gonna let COVID-19, the pandemic stop y'all. Y'all still gonna put out this great content. So let the people know about yourself.
Well, first of all, good morning, everybody. It's a pleasure to
morning.
be y'all this morning and be with you this morning. It is 5:45 over here, Pacific Standard Time, so we doing the thing, okay?
Yeah. Hey.
And you are absolutely right. So my new show, Assisted Living, one of Tyler Perry's new shows, Assisted Living on BET. It aired we premiered last Wednesday, so we had our shows. We had our night again, our family fun night with the return of House of Pain last night. So we just had a good time. So you're right. My boss is working, honey. He got folks down there doing quarantine boot camp and everything.
Quarantine boot camp. So you gotta walk us through it. What is going on down there in the studio? Because you know the thing is, once this pandemic kind of broke off, everybody had to pretty much stop what they were doing. Tyler was like, "Look, I'm going to create a safe bubble for all of the actors and the producers and the production team, and that's going to be working on these shows." So, what was it like to be in the Tyler Perry studio bubble?
So I'll say that our show wrapped before the quarantine. Look at
God. Okay.
So we went up there to film, and I remember my birthday was March 13th. R.I.P. Breonna Taylor. That happened on my birthday, so I have vowed to always shout her out. But my birthday was March 13th. I had a party in Atlanta, or had planned a birthday party in Atlanta, because I was going over my lines and stuff, honey. I really didn't have time to go visit my family and my friends. So I was like, you know what? My birthday is on the 13th. It's Friday the 13th. We gonna turn up. I had an episode of SWAT that had just come out. I was like, oh, we're gonna watch that. We're gonna party. And then, honey, they started setting the NBA and everything down that week. Okay. I said, so I was hitting my friends up like, look, we could booty bump, we could say hi, we could just hug. Y'all still come through, right? So it did, the numbers did decrease. But anyway, so birthday party Friday, then Saturday the 14th, we actually flew back into LA. And then on Sunday the 15th, they made the announcement that the city was officially on lockdown. So I was like, we got back just in time. So all they had to do was edit and mix everything up, you know what I'm saying, and get our show out to the people. So it was a beautiful experience. But I do have some friends that have been on other, some of his other shows, like The Oval. And they went and did their third thistle and they brought it home. So it looks like things are going really well. No, look, I'm from Chicago. I have to throw a little bit of that in there. But I got to keep it real with the people. But no, so they seem to be doing well, no positive tests. And for him to come back and just bring the industry back like that and bring everybody back to work was just amazing. And then to find out last week that now he is a billionaire, I'm like, look at this man. During a pandemic, he's been buying groceries for the older people, passing out gift cards, trying to work on that relationship between the Atlanta Police Department and the community, which is what we need. I heard y'all talking, we need more. We need all things happening at all times. So for him to be doing that and for that boomerang to come back around and still hit him with all of the blessings that he gets, it's just amazing to me. It lets me know that we're in, heading in the right direction. And I appreciate working for him, especially during this time and having a show on Black entertainment television. Like we're talking about Black excellence at its finest. So
yes,
So that's how we keep saying off.
Definitely. Cass, Romeo?
Yeah, I definitely want to ask you because, we've talked to several actors who've worked with Tyler Perry on different shows, and they all talk about this pace at which he works and shoots and gets things done. So what is that experience like for you, having worked prior to the shutdown, but still working at Tyler Perry's pace and getting things done?
Yes, honey. We shot 25 episodes. I was like, we would be looking at each other like, did we just do that? So it's awesome. But I mean, when you own your own studio, you can run it the way you want to run it, and you can get stuff done, and things run according to schedule. So that's what he does. And I'll just say, as an artist, in the room when I booked this, and I was having a conversation with the executives, the only thing that I could get out in between the tears and my shouting was when preparation meets opportunity. And I would like to say that, you have to go to work prepared, So, I mean, it's not for the faint at heart. You can't be talking about, well, I think I know my lines, or, I'm still trying to find my character. You have to, that's when you're training. We're gifted naturally, right? We all have gifts and talents that we're born with, that we get to operate in this universe with, but everybody has professional development. I don't care if you're a teacher or whatever it is. Everybody got to go to school for something. And I think that's when your technique kicks in. It's like, how much time do I really need to dig into a character, or do I know this person already? And so I will say that, you definitely need to be on your A game. And I show up to work in Black excellence, honey, and win. Okay. Because that's what we're here to do. He's given us a platform. And that's one of the beautiful things that he does. He definitely gives you a platform, and he's always bringing out new, fresh faces and new voices. And I appreciate that, So I was like, I'm ready to work, sir. What do you need me to do?
And y'all got it done.
Yeah.
Well, Courtney, AR passed me the ball. Well, Courtney, speaking of Black excellence, and as beautiful as you are, with that color that surrounds you, and single. My question is,
but I still feel the love. Look.
Hey man, you got to pay attention, Romeo. You got to look at the hands, brother. You got to look at the hands, brother.
I got friends, Romeo. I got friends. Cute girls, cute friends, right?
I had to come back with that. But what I was gonna say was, how do you, and this is more geared towards you, how do you maintain your voice during these times? It's like, yeah, the opportunity, the work, the show, and then like you said, what's going on in the outside world and this happening. Like, how do you maintain your voice to where you're still creating, but you're also being heard on certain levels of, disparities?
That's a great question, Romeo. I mean, beautiful question, because I believe all of our lives changed on May 25th when we saw George Floyd murdered. I did not normally use my social media or my platform to always talk about, things that, probably we should be talking about, right? You try to keep it clean because you want a job, and, you know who's coming to your page. And, like right now I'm working for a show at BET, but you want to make sure CBS and NBC and ABC are on board with you, right? So you always have that in the back of your mind. And, but that day I could not, the humanity, in us, that I think is what the world is showing, a lot of the world is showing us, cannot be denied. And I could not hold my voice. Like, I've always been one to speak up, right? I probably got into trouble. I always had that check and self-control because I was talking in class. You know what I'm saying? So I've always been one to run my mouth and fight for the underdog. So, and just fight for what's right. I taught for 13 years. And even in my classroom, I say I believe in being fair, firm, and consistent, And with that being said, I felt compelled. And I'll say another thing that helped me. The casting director for Tyler Perry Studios, her name is Raven Drummer. I'm sure most of you all are familiar, but in case those who aren't, and she had a post. She does this Actor Minute Monday, and she made a very good point in that actors and, people in the industry, the sporting, the sports world, we have always been at the forefront of this. You think about Muhammad Ali. You think about those, you know, that won the Olympics and stood up there with their medals, you know, and look at Naomi right now. Look at, you know, just we've always, you know, Harry Belafonte, Nina Simone, you know, the list goes on. So, you know, there's that quote that is like, who am I not to shine, right? So who am I not to speak up? Who am I not to use my voice? Because ultimately, one thing that I have to remember, and, you know, and whatever, I know there are different religions, but we all believe at some point there's a higher power, the universe, God is who I, you know, connect with. And he gave me this voice for a reason.
Right.
And I had to kind of just know that and move forward. It's kind of like, you know, the other things in life. It's kind of like you have to know that and be able to use it. And so I did. And I think that one of the beautiful things for me that's come out of this is that I have been able to use this platform. It doesn't go unchecked for me that I've been able to, this happened in my career, and I am now able to use my platform to talk about something. And then with my career in education, I'm able to talk about something that I'm also very passionate about and very knowledgeable about, right? So we all have to pick our lanes in this. Like you all might be, you know, dealing with the media and trying to see how they can fund your show more, how you can get more advertisement, how you all might be getting less advertisement than somebody like a Variety or something like that, right? So that might be your push. My push right now is filming television, right? And getting our voices on television. And I have a background in education. So I want those history books changed. I want teachers who are coming out of any university that are coming out of the School of Education in any university to have taken a cultural humanities class or African American studies class, because you don't know where you're going to be teaching, right? You might go back to your predominantly white neighborhood, but if that Black kid moves into the neighborhood, I need those white teachers to feel empowered to teach our history and not slight our babies because it's something they're not comfortable with, you know? So I hope I answered that question. And because I'm passionate, I probably went on a little bit, but
Team you. Thank you.
I want to talk about, you know, you actually went viral during the Black Lives Matters protest because you actually saw some individuals, they were vandalizing a Starbucks, and you were like, you pretty much stepped up and said, kind of confronted them and said, look, this is not what the movement is about. So let's talk about that moment, and why was it important for you to stop the vandals from destroying property and destroying the movement, and, you know, putting a bad look on what you guys were trying to accomplish? Absolutely.
I think in just the theme of what we've been talking about, right? I just told y'all that I speak up, right? So I have a 12-year-old bonus son. I've taught, right? So the mama in me and the teacher in me, when I saw them doing wrong, I think just it couldn't settle in me, right? Like, and it's interesting how that video happened, you know, that day, like it went viral. I woke up the next morning and it was crazy. And I was like, okay. So again, I'm in this sweet spot, right? Where my voice, I'm like, oh, when I did it and it went viral, I was like, oh, well, I hope the people gonna be okay, you know, because the show hadn't come out. But I was like, okay, it's coming out. But I did it from my heart, right? And I think that's where everybody received it coming from, which is a beautiful thing. But we had been out, you know, like that was new in the protest. This was like shortly after it started. And again, I'm seeing us, you know, just like in Charlottesville, just like in, you know, Ferguson, they always show us messing up our own stuff, right? And something in me was like, that's not right, right? So now I know that sometimes there are some of us that do, but the bottom line is that that's not the narrative we want to spin here. So when we went out that day, me, my husband, two of my friends, Chris and Nia, we had been peacefully protesting since like 10 o'clock that morning. And it was 2 o'clock in the afternoon and we were walking down the street and the police had put up this brigade, right? And I'm like, man, at 2 o'clock, y'all really gonna act like we've been out here clowning? Like, why are you here? Who sent you, right? So, and at that point, they started throwing tear gas and shooting rubber bullets to get people to go away. So I'm like, okay, that's crazy. So I'm already amped up about that. And then I go and I see these two young ladies like tagging Black Lives Matter. And I'm like, you ain't even Black. Like, and what hit me even more so is that I look to my right, like I'm looking around where we're walking up to, and I see people standing around not speaking up, and that bothers me, right? Because I'm all for calling out the bully. I'm all for, those types of things. And so I'm like, really? Y'all gonna pull up at the barbecue and y'all ain't gonna say nothing to these people? Like, if you gonna pull up at the barbecue, then I need you to pull up, right? And I need you to get your kinfolk, right? I need you to tell them that what they're doing is not right, especially when you see that tagging Black Lives Matter. Because, honey, Starbucks wasn't gonna look at their video the next morning and then call the NBC, CBS, ABC and say, hey, you know what? We watched our videos and those were not Black people. They were not going to do that. So I felt like, I think that's one of the great things about this movement. Back in the day, they showed us, they took pictures, they took videos. And so the documentation that we see is a lot of what they documented. The beautiful thing about what's happening now is that we're able to document it for ourselves. So I was really just using my voice, you know what I'm saying? And it was really an organic moment. Like, I really wandered up on them. If you're watching the beginning of the video, I didn't cut it on because I saw them. I really walked up on them. And yeah, I was like, no, not on my watch. And I think that's exactly what this is, not on my watch. Even with Breonna Taylor, not on my watch will you get to go unnoticed. We have to remember that Daniel Cameron just got put into office in 2019. So this will be a great opportunity for him to use his platform to show what he is willing to do for the citizens of the state of Kentucky. And unfortunately, he isn't doing that right now, So I mean, who am I not to use my voice?
That's what I'm talking about.
When my ancestors did it, you know what I'm saying?
That's what I'm talking about.
So to keep using your voice, we need you out here in the streets. We need you out here, definitely shed a light on what's happening. We definitely need you checking folks who ain't down and trying to sabotage the barbecue. We don't need that. We don't need anybody sabotage it.
Like that. Take my plate back. Oh, give me my rib back if you're gonna be up in here and ain't talking to nobody and they doing nothing.
You know what I'm saying? So give us before we let you go, just let us know when we can watch the show, what day, what time, what station.
Absolutely. So we are on Wednesday nights. That is Tyler Perry night on BET. So Wednesday nights, our show comes on at 9:00, and they've been showing back-to-back episodes. So if you haven't watched, you can go to the BET Now app. Today, it usually comes up the day after. I want y'all to all set your DVRs, honey, because we're having fun. Of course, David and Tamala Mann are coming in, J. Anthony Brown, Naeem Lynn, myself, and my two kids, Taylor and Alex. We have so much fun. So I just hope that you all join us. I think we need a laugh right now. Laughter is good for the soul, and we made this with love. So come and love on us.
That's what's up, man.
Much respect, Courtney Nichole. So we definitely gonna follow you in this movement, follow you on the streets, and we're gonna follow you on this show. So much respect, man. We definitely rooting for you over here.
Thank you so much. And we got to keep showing up in these streets, baby. We got to do the work. So I appreciate you all for doing the work. Thank you for having me. I hope we can come back soon to talk about, any other things that come up. But y'all have a blessed day. And you all can follow me on The Real Courtney on any platform that you choose. So thank you.
Thank you.
And vote. That's my husband's background. Vote.
Thanks so much, Courtney.
So we can keep them accountable for this money that they put in our neighborhoods. Let's go.
Definitely. Thanks, Courtney. Thanks so much.
Y'all have a great day.
Take care.